Hey everyone, reputations are the backbone of the content in classic TBC. They not only unlock extremely powerful gear, consumables and enchants, but they also gatekeep literal content. So knowing how to get your reputations and get them fast is crucial. So in this video, we're gonna go over every reputation in classic TBC and show you the fastest way to go from neutral to exalted in each one of them. We're gonna go rapid fire mode through each one of them and include timestamps on the video itself and in the description. That way you can refer to this in the future very easily. So without further ado, we got a lot to cover, so let's get started. Starting from where it all begins, Honor Hold / Thraumar. First off, and before you get any point of reputation, get yourself as many Honor Hold / Thraumar favors as possible from their respective vendors. You can get these by getting Marks of Honor Hold or Marks of Thraumar by killing other players near the contested towers and by doing the daily quests that ask you to capture 3 towers. Like a lot of reputation on this list, the way to reach Exalted ASAP with Honor Hold or Thraumar is by following 2 steps. From neutral to honored, avoid doing any quests in Hellfire Peninsula. Instead, do the lower level dungeons, those being Hellfire Ramparts and Blood Furnace, as those do not give you rep once you're honored. From Honor to Exalted, do all the quests in Hellfire Peninsula. If you haven't done any, you should reach Revered and then finish it up to Exalted by farming Shattered Holes Normal or Heroic, or by doing Ramparts or Blood Furnace Heroic. Shattered Holes Normal being the only instance you can actually farm, obviously. Cenarion Expedition. The absolute fastest way to reach Exalted with Cenarion Expedition is to buy a ton of Coilfang armaments and turn them all in at ECL Windsinger after you've completed the quest Orders from Lady Vash, which is a random drop from mobs inside Steam Vault. You'll need 560 Coilfang armaments to go from neutral to exalted with this method. But if you don't have a ton of gold, similarly to Honor Hold, the fastest way to reach exalted is to not do any quests in Zangar and farm slave pans, Underbog, or Steam Vault if you're 70 until honored. From there, complete all the quests in Zangar, then run Steam Vault's normal or heroic or Underbog or Slave Pen's Heroic until Exalted. Again, obviously, Steam Vault's Normal being the only dungeon you can actually reset and farm. Lower City. If you want to fund your way to Honored and save a lot of time in the process, you can buy 1060 Arakoa feathers and turn those 30 at a time to Vekax and Shatrat for 250 rep per turn in. If you don't want to spend a ton of gold, however, avoid doing quests in Terakar Forest and farm any of Kurenai Crypts, Setek Holes, or Shadow Labyrinth if you're 67 plus until honored. From honored to exalted, do all the quests you haven't done in Terakar Forest and farm Shadow Labyrinth normal or heroic and Kurenai Crypt / Setek Holes heroic until exalted. By the way, not doing any quests from neutral to honored is just there to give you a boost to your reputation gain. If you have done all the quests while leveling, it's fine, but you will level your reputation slower. The Sha'tar. If you want to fund your way to honored, or actually 1 point away from honored with the Sha'tar, and thus get rep super fast, you can turn in reputation tokens to the Aldor or the Scryers depending on your choice. Those not only give rep with the Aldor and the Scryers, but also with the Sha'tar up to 5,999 into friendly. If you don't want to spend gold, although you will have to eventually to level Aldor or the Scryers, but if you don't want to, from neutral to exalted, the only ways to get rep with this faction is to complete their respective quests, which are scattered around Outland, and then grind your way to exalted by doing either Arcatraz, Botanica, or Mechanar. Generally, Botanica is faster for pure rep grinding, so focus on that. Keepers of Time. This one is quite straightforward. In Caverns of Time, pick the first quest from Endormu, then follow the quest chain until you clear both Escape from Durnhold and Black Morass. This should get you to Honored by just doing those 2 dungeons and those quests. From there, the fastest way to Exalted is by farming Black Morass. Durnhold also gives similar rep per runs, but it is slower to clear in my experience and very few people do it generally. Moving on to the other type of useful reputations in Outland, and starting with the Aldor and the Scryers. There's only one real way to level this reputation, and that's by turning their respective reputation tokens. It is worth noting that there is one reputation token for each faction that only gives rep up to Honored, those being Marks of Kil'jaeden for the Aldor and Firewing Signets for Scryers. So turn those in until Honored to save some gold, and then turn in the rest up to Exalted. Also, as mentioned before, turning in those tokens also gives rep with the Sha'tar up to Honored. So hit 2 birds with 1 stone and do that. There's also a few quests around Outland that do give rep with the Aldor and the Scryers, but that's not the fastest way to level this reputation up. The Consortium. To reach Exalted as fast as possible with Consortium, there's 2 things you need to keep in mind. First, avoid doing any Consortium quests for now. Those are mostly found around Netherstorm, but there's also a few in Nagrand. From Neutral to Honored, you should farm Mana Tombs. Then, from Honored to Exalted, complete all the quests that you haven't done yet, and from there, you have 2 options to reach Exalted. Obsidian War Beads in Nagrand, and Xaxis Insignias in Netherstorm. Both give roughly the same reputation and take roughly the same time to grind, and you can turn them in 10 at a time for 250 rep per turn in. Sporeggar. This starts at Unfriendly, and the way to go from Unfriendly to Friendly is by turning in Buglord Tendrils and mature Spore Sacs to this guy east of the spawning glen in Zangarmarsh. After reaching Friendly, which should require 48 Tendrils or 80 Spore Sacs, you unlock the ability to turn in Sanguine Hibiscus, which is 250 rep per 5 Sanguine Hibiscuses. So you'll need 780 Sanguine Hibiscus to reach Exalted, or half of that if you're only interested in Revered. Another way to reach Exalted without breaking the piggy bank is by farming Underbog. Mobs there grant 20 rep per kill, and bosses grant 250 rep, and that's all the way up to Exalted. Underbog is also where you can find Sanguine Hibiscus, so it is a good alternative if you don't want to spend gold, but just buying the Hibiscus is definitely faster. Kurenai / the Maghar. These start at Unfriendly. Kurenai is the Alliance version and the Maghar is the Horde version. First, you'll need to become friendly. To go from Unfriendly to Neutral with the Maghar, there's a quest chain that starts at Thromar, and the first quest on this chain is called the Assassin. Follow that until you're neutral. For Kurenai, it's not a chain, but just a quest hub you'll need to clear, and that's Orebor Harborage in Zangarmarsh. There's 4 quests tied to Kurenai you'll need to do there, and that should get you to Neutral. From Neutral to Revered, just do all the quests in either Talar or Garadar in Nagrand. There's a bunch, and completing all of them should put you roughly at Revered. From Revered to Exalted, the fastest way is by killing Wormhole Ogres in Nagrand. Those not only give rep every time you kill them, but they also drop Obsidian War Beads, which can be turned in for 500 rep per 10 War Beads. Note that those can also be turned in to the Consortium guys for rep with Consortium. Shattered Sun Offensive. This rep isn't in the game as of the time of writing this video, but knowing some things in advance will allow you to reach Exalted faster. First off, the fastest way to reach Exalted is by simply farming Magister's Terrace over and over again, from Neutral to Exalted. It works in both normal and heroic, normal being the only mode you can farm, of course. Then obviously, this rep introduces the first real daily hub in the game. So next, the fastest way to reach Exalted if you don't want to grind Magister's Terrace endlessly is to do the dailies every day. The higher your rep is, the more new daily quests will be unlocked. There's even some in Shatrat that you can pick. So get all the dailies done every day for some nice gold along the way. Moving on to miscellaneous cosmetic reps and starting with Netherwing. This starts at Hated, and to go from Hated to Neutral, you'll need to speak with Mordonai in Shadowmoon Valley in the Netherwing field. You'll have to do a quest chain, and completing all those quests will get you from Hated to Neutral. From there, the absolute fastest way to reach Exalted is to just farm Netherwing eggs, and turn them in one at a time for 250 rep per turn in. You can get those by either clicking on them directly around the Netherwing ledge in the Dragon Maw Fortress, or by looting them. They have a 1% drop rate from all the creatures in the Netherwing ledge, so if you just farm these all day, you could theoretically reach Exalted in a day. That being said, those eggs are probably gonna be camped all the time, so your next bet is to just do the dailies every day. Then, once you're out of dailies, farm as many eggs as you have time for. The higher your standing with the reputation is, the more dailies you'll unlock. It will take you around 2 weeks of doing only dailies to reach exalted, and less the more eggs you turn in. Sha'tari Skyguard. The fastest way to reach exalted, which is also the one I recommend for everyone, is to ignore all the lead-in quests and the daily quests and just do the quest chain to summon Tarok, which starts with the quest World of Shadows. Just follow this quest chain until you have to kill Tarok. Then you basically rinse and repeat those steps until exalted. Killing mobs with Elixir of Shadow on, then killing the time lost mobs, looting time lost scrolls from them, creating time lost offerings, summoning Tarok, killing Tarok, rinse and repeat until exalted. Doing this can get you from neutral to exalted in a day, and is considerably faster than doing dailies only. Ogri'la. Unfortunately, there's only one real way to reach exalted with Ogri'la, and that's to do the annoying dailies every day. After doing the initial quest chain, you'll unlock the dailies, and that's pretty much what you'll be doing until exalted. A pretty tedious reputation that doesn't reward much stuff, so really, I would skip this if you're not after any rewards in particular. Moving on with raid reputations and starting with the Violet Eye. This is quite straightforward really, just clear Karazhan every week. But there is one important thing to keep in mind. Focus on doing the quests as much as possible. There's 2 quest chains, one to kill Prince Malkazar and one to summon Nightbane and kill him. So you should really focus on doing them as they reward a lot of reputation. So make sure to ask your raid to clear the way for your quest objectives every time you have one. The Scale of Sands. This is basically like the Violet Eye minus the quests. Well, there is one quest, the Vials of Eternity, which asks you to kill Lady Vash and Kel'Thas and rewards 3000 reputation. But other than that, this reputation is just about clearing Mount Hyjal every week. Nothing crazy. That being said, in retail, you can kill the first waves of mobs over and over again by resetting the instance. Not sure if this will work in Classic TBC, but if you really want this reputation exalted ASAP, this might be a way to do it. Ashtongue Deathsworn. Like with both other raid reputations, you'll get rep with this one mostly by killing mobs and bosses inside Black Temple. It is worth noting that there is a quest chain, but you'll probably do this one naturally as it is the attunement to Black Temple, which will probably be in the game at first. It is also worth noting that you can clear the way up to the first boss and then reset the instance, so if you want to get this reputation to exalted ASAP, this is the only way. The last rep on our list, which is an interesting one, is Tranquillien, a reputation only available to Horde, which takes place in Ghostlands. It's tied to the town with the same name, Tranquillien, and to reach exalted, you'll simply have to do all the quests here. Whether you're max level or leveling here, you'll be able to gain rep with this very fast. And that should cover all the reputations available in Burning Crusade. I hope you found this guide interesting. If I forgot something, let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a like and subscribe to the Classic WoW Curios channel. I will see you guys in the next one very soon. Bye for now.